come out here this morning before it got so hot, and it wasn't bad when I first got out here, but then it got miserable hot. But I came out and cut some flowers to put in vases in the house. We try to keep some fresh flowers. If we're growing, we might as well keep some fresh flowers in the house. And so I came out and cut some of those, and then by then it was just so hot that there was no more in the garden this morning until the shades finally came over. But let's take a quick walk through and check it out. Sweet potatoes still doing their thing, and they're loving this heat. Sweet potatoes love hot weather. You see, those fence posts from where I'm standing, they're probably 8 feet uh, above me, because the yard kind of goes uphill a little bit right there at the end of the garden, so the fence posts are a little bit higher than this level where they go on the ground. But these vines are taking over. We got castor beans coming on. Actually, got quite a few of them. Real quick before I turn the camera back around, we got okra. Now, see my finger next to it? That is picking size okra. I'll probably come back to it and pick them. And what you do when you pick your okra, okay? I'll just go ahead and pick it. Okay, pick that off. Okay, got it here, and then I don't have my knife with me. Well, I have to come back and do that. But what you want to do, pick your okra, cut that limb off. Pick your okra, cut the limb off. I'll come back out with a knife and get these other ones. But and then as you do that, as you pick those okras and cut those leaves off, you're pushing all that energy to the top of the plant where she's producing okra, and your plant will just keep getting taller and taller and producing more okra. Okra is another one of those plants that, just like the sweet potato, just loves hot weather. Some of your garden plants aren't crazy, don't necessarily do so well in super hot weather and super muggy weather like we have right now. Fortunately, my garden, now, at least at this time of year, is kind of shaded. So when that really, really, really hot sun in the evening is coming in, my tomato plants are protected. Tomatoes, when it gets super hot, when you get above 100 degrees, in the mid 90s, up in the hundreds, those super hot, muggy days, they'll start dropping blooms, and they won't produce fruit. But mine, where they're shaded, are still doing very well. I'm making the sweetest cherry tomatoes you ever eat. You see, even way up here, up above my head, you can see we still have blooms and little tomatoes coming on, so they're doing very well, doing good. But what I wanted to show you was let me show you this first. So these are some sunflowers that I cut down. They were kind of in that little spot right there. Windstorm we had just beat them to death. You can see that one's, let me zoom in on it. You see that one's bent over. It's just hanging over the edge of the fence. We had that big windstorm, and it just beat them to death. So I picked some flowers off of them and then cut them off and just kind of tossed them here under the old bean arch. But you can see there, that's all dead. That's all gone. So we don't have to worry about cross pollination now. See those blooms right here from the old beans? We stopped them in their tracks. And it's a good thing, because the grandpa beans are in full bloom. We have a lot of blooms opened. I picked the rest of these pole beans and then tore all those vines out. And the next morning, I looked out the kitchen window and I could see bumblebees out here working these blooms on these flowers, on these grandpa beans. So I got them out just in the nick of time. But those have been a lot of fun to grow. These grandpa beans are super fast. I mean, just look at that. They're already blooming. 18 days ago, there was potatoes growing there, and now we're a couple of weeks from having beans. And you still got time. If you wanted to grow a crop of bush beans, you could get them off. The collards are coming up. I need to come out here and do a little weeding. That's what these plants right here are. I sprayed them down the water hose today and kind of and I whipped them a little bit. There's a nice one right there. They get stood back up, but they're doing good. Apparently, the squirrels have found something to eat, so they're leaving my ground cherries alone finally. And I sure am thankful for that. Just squeeze them out of the paper. Delicious. Ground cherries, Cape gooseberry, or husk tomato. They are in the tomato family. They don't taste anything like a tomato. They taste like a fruit. Very sweet. Pop in your mouth when you bite them. They're really good. Something I'll always, from now on, last year was the first year I ever grew them. I'll always grow ground cherries. Even if it's just to come out here and pick some up out of the, when I'm walking around the garden and, eat them. But anyway, that's the garden. That's an update on the grandpa beans. They are shin high and blooming. There's little white dots in here everywhere from the blooms. So we expect a good crop of grandpa beans this year. They never disappoint. They always produce. Uh, the first year we grew them, my wife's been carrying them seeds around forever, and we finally got to put them in the ground. And cutworms got them. First it was rabbits, and then I built a cage around them and netted them in. And they was just cut off at the top of the ground. Something just eat the stem, and then the little bean plant would just, they were like this tall, and the little bean plant would just fall over. So I did some research. I'd never dealt with anything like that. I don't think I come up with cutworms. So all you organic gardeners out there be mad at me, but I went and bought some 7-granule. It's the same insecticide in 7 does, but it's in granule form, and brought it out here and tilled it into that spot. And we had like a handful of beans left. And I said, hope this works. And we planted them, and they came up, and we didn't need a single bean. We let them all go until they turned white. We dried them out and saved those seeds so that we would have them to grow the next year, and we've been growing them ever since. And so this year, a couple of rows of this, or a row of it, will be left when we harvest them. Will be left until they turn white, and then we'll use those for seed in the future for next year. The old timers would say we're turning over the seed. I'd like to find another ground tree. I'd like to take Amy one. She probably wants one. She sees this video and finds out I didn't bring her one. She'll be mad. I'll stick this in my pocket. I'll take her that one. I won't need it. All right. She's a gardening real estate agent. Supposed to have a closing Tuesday. Something went awry with the insurance. Getting the insurance, couldn't get it insured by Tuesday, so then they wanted to push the closing date back to Wednesday. And the sellers can't be there Wednesday, so now we pushed it back to Thursday. And everybody's a little upset, including me. Sorry for this handy camera work, but I wanted to get that ground tree and it got away from me. There it is. Anyway, everybody's a little upset, but it is what it is. I told my client, I said, we've done all we can do. We've gotten our end of it across the finish line, and it's in the hands of the lender, and it's in the hands of the title company, and we're at their mercy. Whenever they get all their stuff done, they have a protocol they have to go through, and there's steps they have to take, and each step has to be completed before they can do the next one. And the insurance was the step that they stumbled on, and they couldn't get it insured in time to get it closed Tuesday. So now we're going to be closing Thursday evening. So that's how the cookie crumbles. But she'll have her home, her very own home, her first home. She'll be the proud owner of it Thursday evening sometime. They said sometime after 4 o'clock Thursday. So fingers crossed and lots of prayers going up, we get there. 'Cause it's been a frantic day today, sitting with my twiddling my thumbs, waiting on word from from the lender and from the listing agent. And but God bless them all. We all out here just doing our job, and each one's wondering why the other one isn't doing it the way they would do it. Well, they're doing their job the way it has to be done, and we're doing our job the way we have to do it. So in the end, it's all going to work out. She'll get her house, they'll get their money, and we will have closed the deal and put somebody in a new home. So anyway, that's the gardening. A little bit of real estate talk. Just remember, Jesus loves you, and I love you. If you need to buy or sell a home, give me a call. I got a little free time now. Got that one out of the way. So give me a call. I'm here. I'm gonna go check on the girls over here and get the eggs and go in for dinner. She's fixing dinner. Fish tacos. See y'all. Love you. Bye.